So it's mid-August and I have had a success with the air layering of this Dawn Redwood, which is pretty awesome. So I'm just going to unwrap this and show the moment of glory and sever it. So this is the roots, which already look quite tangled up. They're so long, which is amazing. If we turn it around, I don't think you'll be able to see, but there's less roots the other side. But I think that's time to extract, otherwise it'll just get root bound from the side that's cupping it. So we've got so it's going to be cut above this line, and then one of these will become the new leader. So I need to get in there. And first of all I'm going to unwrap it. I suspect the sphagnum moss will be held in place quite well because there's so much root. So my worry is when I unwrap this it's all going to collapse, but I don't think that's going to happen because there's so much root that it's going to be held in place. I'm interested to see how moist it is inside this bag because I've not opened it at all since it was set. So I just kept checking back, and if the moss was green, then I was assuming that it was sufficiently moist. So it feels a bit like the moisture level of a piece of dough. It's definitely not wet. It's kind of sticky. Right, I gave that a bit of a tug in the end. So I'm going to make the cut from this side. So I've sterilised these secateurs. So I'm going above that one. It's very close to the... Right, let's do it. Oh my God. There it is. Can't twist it because it's banging up against the... Right, so it's in August, so it's warm. It's actually quite cold, I've got a hoodie on. So, ideally these roots, I mean it's the equivalent of pot bound, but it's mossball bound. You don't really want them going around and around. So that's a broken root. So I think these white ones are delicate, whereas the red ones I imagine are less delicate. I'm just nervous to muck about with this. I've already broken one. maybe a better time to deal with the roots is when they've hardened off a little bit, like in the spring. Not today. So I think just plonk that in the soil. That's my executive decision. So, right, I'm going to plant it at this angle. As long as it's not straight, I think it's okay. So this is seed compost, which I've just mixed in, and there was some zeolite in it, I think, or pumice. And I've just mixed in some organic multi-purpose, and there's a worm there, which I've hopefully not killed, because that worm is going to do wonders. The reason I mixed some organic compost in with that seed mix is that this is a tree that likes wet environments. So we don't want it, we want some organic matter to retain some water. Right. Need to remember that at the moment the roots are only in the root ball, but we want them to venture out. Now, do I cut some growth off? Not today. Not today. So, this is what we are left with. So the problem with this tree in the first place was that it was just straight up. I tried to bend it, but it wasn't really working, it was too stiff. Just cutting as far back down the branch as I can, but making sure to get red stems. So here I've got a red stem, almost 50% of the length of the branch. Two opposite branches coming out, so I'm going to cut after them. It's quite a lot. Okay, this one. Red almost the whole way along. Single branch alternate, single branch alternate. Opposite branch is here. Opposite branches, two more opposite branches. Keep both of them. Here. Opposite branches, single, opposite branches, opposite branches. I'm just going to, so I've left 3 pairs there. This looks a bit delicate. So that's all good. So I think I'll just cut the leader out. So let's call this the leader for now. So we've got a pair of branches here opposite, a pair of branches here opposite, and then there. So they've just got to harden up for the rest of this month before it starts getting cold, if that's okay. Then we've got one, well, we've got here like a hand, so we've got 4 branches more or less coming from the same place. Already got inverse taper. So let's just cut the interior one here. And this one is closest to, you could just cut this top one off completely, which I just said was the leader. Let's do that, because it's not, I need my bonsai tools. Okay, branch cutters obtained. So I'm trying to get out this stem, which has created some inverse taper. And let's get it. Have to remember that they go in, so whilst it on the eye line might look like you're not cutting too deep, they do go a lot deeper. All right, that's that. And then I might nibble that. This is very high. All right, so we had 4 stems here, 4 branches. We've now got 2 coming from more or less the same position. So I could actually just get that down to 1. I quite like the look of this one. I'm going to take this bottom one off because then I can take out this knuckle. And if it dies, it doesn't really matter. It's quite a big chunk of wood there. This is an inward growing branch, which is not really in the right place. Just pull that off. And this one too. Then here, again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 stems all coming from the same point. So, and a knuckle forming on the end as well. Let's take that out because it's vertical. We've got an inward growing branch here, so we don't want that, so let's just get rid of it. Here. So we've got 2 opposites, 2 more opposites, 2 more opposites. Let's take that off here. Got a little bit of spindly growth coming out from an axle, so I'm just going to pull that off. Another one here. Now I could do a bit more shaping on that. Right. There's quite a lot of chops there. Let's say 75% of the foliage is removed. It's a lot. But it's not good, it's fine. And in a way, like, I could almost just chop it to here, because we just don't want this long straight thing. So I could just go further down. So if I lose that, it doesn't really matter. And if I lose that, it doesn't really matter. Right. Now this, I mustn't get it confused with the air layer. So this is a fresh Dawn Redwood that I showed previously this year. So this was from Herons. And if I remember correctly, I don't know what I did with it. I think I gave it a bit of a prune, but it's extremely happy. It's wired, so I think we'll take the wire off. It's fairly loosely wired. So there was a second one of these, but it's been looked after for me by someone else. So we just get to see one. So I think what I did was just give it a twist with an aim to put some shape, some movement in the trunk, and not really worry too much about it. It's funny how the colour's quite different. You can see the colour of this. Green is much darker. So, loads of movement. And it coils around here, fabulous. So I think what with this, it just takes some quite drastic chops, to be honest, but I'm going to keep the main shape. So, same principle, cut to redwood to a few branches, two opposites, so just cut there. Here. Two opposites, one opposite, cut to there. Big branch here. Kind of inclined to take that off completely. Not today. That was a bit squishy. Didn't feel good. Maybe I should put a bit of wound sealant on that. Alright. That's back under control.